Welcome to the show. My guest tonight, Katie Rocks.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to my crib, yo.
I hate you already. That was fast.
You know what? Now we're both on the internet saying that. So It's solidarity.
You know what? Actually, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for pointing it out.
For everyone who doesn't know you, can you tell the audience about yourself?
Yeah. My name is Katie Rocks and I'm a musician. I have played in rock bands, country bands, solo. I like to talk a lot and I'm really into horses.
Nice.
How's that?
That's good.
And my favorite food. No.
That's a good starting point. So you grew up in Airdrie.
I did.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, we originally actually Drumheller, Balzac, Airdrie. But I always went to school in Airdrie because I took French immersion. And I grew up on a farm. We raised Black Angus cattle and had horses and donkeys and dogs and cats. And I was just also really into music. So that was my life in Airdrie. And also, I actually also want to say Airdrie was very small at one point. Not a lot of people know that these days, but when I grew up, it was a small town of my poor friends that are there now. I'll be like, oh, I remember when that was the mushroom plant. And do you know that was the first set of lights? And I have all this facts and it makes me sound like I'm about 75 and I'm not. It's just that it grew to a big town or whatever it is.
It's a city now.
Is it a city? Okay.
Yeah.
In a very short amount of time. But when I was there was like 2 high schools and like 1 set of lights and, you know, there wasn't a lot there. And then I was on the outskirts of it on the farm.
It's pretty big now.
There's
places above Airdrie that are like the new Airdrie.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The new Airdrie. Yeah, and I get lost sometimes.
Yeah.
Getting around.
Heavy traffic there.
Heavy traffic.
Stresses me out going there, actually.
Yeah, well, the good thing is where my parents' farm is, there's a lot of secret back roads you can take.
Nice.
So that's the thing. That's one of the things I do love about being out in the country is we're not a one road in, one road out. We're like, ooh, you can take that back road, take that side road, you can drive across that field. You know all the secrets.
So you always liked country?
I did.
And Broadway?
Yeah. So when my mom, I think that's sort of I like to think that's a pretty natural thing if you start taking lessons as a young kid, because that's what I did. I started taking singing lessons. And so it would be singing folk songs and then like musicals. And then I listened to country music in the tractor, you know? So it was like, that was kind of the things that I was around. And my mom is just listening to music all the time. So nobody else is musical. My sister used to sing, but she doesn't anymore. But my mom was always listening to music. And then she would take us to musicals. And then I started doing musical theater. Like that was when I was taking singing lessons, I'd do musical theater. When I was finished high school, that I actually thought I wanted to go into theater, like to be like, into Broadway. My mom was like, you don't know how to dance. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I didn't do that. Or act.
What were your favorite musicals when you were little?
I loved Les Miserables, loved Miss Saigon, and then, of course, The Phantom of the Opera. Like your standard basic. I don't keep up with it at all anymore. I don't think I've been to a Broadway musical in a long time. Like probably since I was a kid.
What about country? Who did you like when you were younger?
All of it. I mean, like 90s country is making such a resurgence right now, but that was what I grew up on. So it was like George Strait, Alan Jackson, Dolly Parton, Martina McBride, like all of that. And then of course, like I think Patsy Cline is like the greatest voice of all time. So as I started again in the more, not generic, you're 90s country, the amazing Clint Black. Well, I still listen to all of this stuff. Like I love it. Trisha Yearwood. But you get into the older stuff, like I love Keith Whitley. And then you go back even further and it's like all of that music. But Patsy Cline to me, of all of it, that is like the voice. That is the ultimate voice to me.
When did you start performing and what kind of music did you perform at first?
Yeah. So my very first recital was in a basement at my music teacher's house. And I don't remember the song that I sang, but I got up to sing it and I just burst into tears and cried and ran back to my mom. I got too embarrassed to do it. And then everybody else did their song, did their performance. And then I got back up and I went and did it again. And so that year, my singing teacher gave me the Trooper Award. And I think it was that that was my first like little kid thing. And then I started doing the musical theater. And I remember I did a song from Beauty and the Beast and I won. And I remember being like, ooh, winning is fun. And so then it escalated from there.
What was the song?
I think it was that little town. I don't remember. Look, there she goes. That girl is trained. No, no, no. That song. I can't remember.
Wow,
but it
there's
was
that
like,
voice.
there it is. But it was, I remember it so distinctly because I wore like a bell type of dress. But then when it was the town people, I think I turned around and put like something over my head. So I looked like a little lady and then I would sing like the other parts. I don't know. It must have been good. For like, I don't know how old I was. I was just little. But yeah, and then do you want me to keep telling you? There's so much.
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
But whatever you want to talk about.
I also did the Youth Talent Showdown at the Calgary Stampede one year too. And to be I don't remember how far I got in it. Like obviously didn't win, but like that was something. I had these little moments as a young, like as a child and as a young girl and then a teenager and growing up that kind of said you're doing the right thing, because it's easy to be like, well, maybe my mom thinks I'm good. But I would have these moments where I'd be like, well, my mom didn't get to make that decision. Like she didn't pick me to win. She didn't pick me to be in the Youth Talent Showdown. And then I auditioned for a TV show that was like a reality show. And I was a finalist for that as well. And I was like, oh, okay, this might like, it was the thing I wanted to do, but I would have these little markers that were like, that's where you should go. So, yeah.
I was going to ask, when did you decide to pursue it as a career? You went to Red Deer College.
I did. So I'd actually decided much before that. Like, again, I think when I was 12, I was like, Mom, I'm going to move to Los Angeles and be a famous singer. Like I used to tell her that. And I used to keep track of all of my chores that I would do because I was going to save money and move to Los Angeles. And my mom and my dad, they never crushed my dreams. Like they were just like, okay, if that's what you're going to do, go do that. You better sweep the house 20 times, you know? And then I didn't initially really even want to go to college because I was like, I'm going to be a musician. And everybody who wants to be a musician, you should definitely go to college because you learn so much. So my mom just said, okay, well, you have to go to college. If you want to do music, then take music. So that's what I did. And Red Deer offered, I don't think they even have the program anymore, but they offered a music program that also specialized in contemporary music, like modern music. And I always knew that's what I wanted to do. Like now in hindsight, I do think, oh, it probably would have been beneficial to take the jazz program or take a classical program because you learn so much. But that I was just so focused on like, I'm going to be a rock star, that was the program that I felt sort of offered that for me. And I learned so much.
And then you went to Vancouver.
And then I moved to Vancouver.
How old were you when you went to Vancouver, and what was that experience like?
I was 19, and it was great. I had gone out there. We had some family out in Victoria, and I had looked at going to school in Victoria. And yeah, I don't like the cold weather. I really hate it. And so I knew that it was either going to be Toronto or Vancouver, because at the time, Vancouver we don't have like Toronto is the hub of all of it now. Vancouver used to have a really healthy scene. And so I was like, well, that one's a little closer to home and the weather is warmer. I'll just try it out. Like I didn't know that I was going to keep living there. I just thought, oh, I'll go there. But Vancouver is beautiful. And again, I had things happen to me right away that pointed me in that direction of like, this is where you should be.
And how did it go when you got there? What happened? I guess you got your big break, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, I moved there and life works in the funniest of ways. I went into a cell phone store with my mom to change my cell phone over to a Vancouver number because you still needed to do that. I'm talking to the guy at the cell phone place, telling him I just moved here. And he goes, oh, I have a girlfriend right now, or like a friend who's looking for a roommate. She's also a musician. She was on that TV show Pop Stars. That's the reality show I was talking about. And I said, I was on the TV show Pop Stars. And so he called her and he's like, do you remember Katie? And we'd never met, but we'd both seen each other on the show. And so she just invited me to move in with her right away. So I got this place downtown the first month of living there. I got a job at a clothing store on Robson Street. But I applied for a job at the Warehouse recording studio that Bryan Adams owns. And I didn't get the job. And so I just kept working at this clothing store and I enrolled in Columbia Academy to learn recording skills. And I was in school for 3 days when the manager of the studio called me and she goes, I know I didn't hire you for that job because that was not the job for you, but I have a receptionist position available. Do you want it? And I remember all the people in class being like, oh, that's the job we all go to school to get. And I just got it just through luck. And so I said, yep. And I quit going to school there and I started working at the warehouse.
That's really cool.
And again, I was 19. Like I was just like, here I
go. What is the warehouse?
It's a recording studio that Bryan Adams owns. It's in Gastown and it's world renowned. Like I saw every act you can possibly think of, from like Elton John, new acts, Michael Bublé, like all of them. Everybody came through there. Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, like Keith Urban. I saw them all. And Bryan was there a lot too.
So what happened there? What was the next step after that?
Yeah, so I had gotten some advice from someone who had said to me, he was like, don't tell everybody you're a musician. They'll figure it out. Like just do the job that you're supposed to do. Because he told me, he's like, you're going to meet everybody. And so I just, I had a little demo and I played it for the manager of the studio and she's like, I think you've like got something. And I would say yes to every opportunity. And most of the time there was no opportunity. Like I remember I sang for like the Disney people one time, but they didn't pick it in the end. I did some like background vocals for Mandy Moore one time. I don't even know if they use them. I just put them in my bio that I did it, and so a lot of it it was never really happening, but I would get these opportunities. I remember going to an open mic night because my friend invited me and he was like, come sing a song. And so I did. And then I only told him afterwards, I was like, I've actually never done that before. And he's like, you haven't? I was like, no, that was my first time. And then through that was how I ended up in the project Jakalope. That was the like real Kickstarter of like my career on like a bigger level. Like the warehouse was cool, but I was still a behind the scenes receptionist and then I became the assistant manager. But I got, I was the age of a lot of the bands that were coming through there and I'm fairly outgoing. So I was meeting a lot of people and getting to do a lot of cool things. I was just telling somebody the other day that REM came to my 21st birthday party.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like it was a wild experience. Yeah. And then like I said, and then through that, I ended up asked if I wanted to front this band Jakalope, and the producer gave me some instrumentals that he'd been working on and said, we're looking for like lyrics and melodies to this. And he gave it to me and I went home and listened to it and I was like, what is this? Because I did not listen to industrial music at all.
Yeah.
But I just started writing to it. Like I was a teenager still, really. Like I was 19, 20, like still young. So I had notebooks full of just sort of lyrical things that I had written. And I just, I'd bring it to him and we just started working on this project together. And for me, it was an opportunity to work on music for real with people who were really doing it. And I was so young and I say this all the time that like, I think because it was always a thing I wanted to do, doing it didn't feel like a big deal. Cause I was like, well, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And I moved to Vancouver and I got a job and like it felt natural. I look back now and I'm like, holy shit, that was so not normal, but I dreamt it my whole life. So it felt normal, and I was around people who were doing it all the time, who were also doing it, who were on Much Music and doing all the things that I was now doing. So it's only now that I'm like, wow, that was crazy. But yeah, so that's how the Jakalope thing came to be. But what was funny is so we started working, we were recording at night in the studio, like in an alley. So we weren't even doing it at the warehouse. So we were just sort of getting it going. And I remember the producer saying, we've got a record deal now. And I was like, cool. Like again, like, okay, didn't really think that much of it. And then we were making an album and we went and shot music videos and we did all this stuff. And I wasn't really telling anybody about it. Like I was just sort of doing it. And then I remember we shot these music videos, these amazing music videos. And then they were on Much Music and we were on like heavy rotation on Much Music. And I remember I'd get friends calling being like, there's this girl on Much Music. She looks so much like you, but she's in this like goth industrial rock band. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. So it was crazy.
And then you started touring. You got pretty big with them, right?
We did. Yeah, it took off really fast. Again, it was in a time when all of those, like again, Much Music was so big, right? And Much Music was what brought us into the living rooms of all these people. And there was a huge pedigree from all the people who were involved because it was a really collaborative project. And again, a lot of the people we collaborated with, like I actually didn't know who they were. Like I had to research who we were working with. And like, obviously I knew who Trent Reznor was, but a lot of people ask like, what's it like working with Trent Reznor? But I only talked to him on the phone one time. Like he was dealing directly with the producer and he'd have a lot of feedback and I'd get the feedback, but I didn't ever meet him or anything. But I did talk to him on the phone once while we were like doing a vocal or something. And, but yeah, so it was wild. But again, it was, and my first tour was in a bus but I just thought that's how it went. So.
Did you tour? Was it kind of like a world tour, parts of it?
No. So we did Canada twice. And we went to Japan twice as well. And there was talks of other shows. I can remember at one point there was like talks about going to South America and talks about going over to Europe. But it's showbiz, baby. Sometimes those things don't actually happen.
I had read it that it was popular in Japan. So I was wondering if it was a world tour.
Yeah, we had there was a time, this happens where certain countries are like kind of the cool thing. And in that 2004, 2005, 2006, whatever that was, it was really popular to be Canadian. So there were a lot of labels over there signing Canadian acts. And we were one of them. We were with a label called Pony Canyon. And it was so cool because never did I imagine going over to Japan. Like I'd never really thought about it and went there. And that was like such an experience because they're so devoted and excited and loyal. And like I couldn't leave the hotel without there being fans waiting for me. Like I remember being like, I just want to go get a Starbucks and I don't want to put my makeup on. But they were so sweet and respectful. And like my Japan time was one of my favorite of all time. It was so cool. That
must have been really weird. All of a sudden being in Japan and having so many fans all around you.
Yeah, it was wild. And we played, I think we only played once. We did a bunch of radio tours. And the woman who was the label rep, like I'm still friends with her to this day. She was, again, like kind of around my age and just really awesome. But yeah, the whole experience in Japan was so great. Like I would tell every musician, like if you get an opportunity to go there and do that, go there and do that. Because it was so cool.
That was like a whole different life too. You've had a lot of careers.
9 lives. Like. Well, I'm not quite, but I had it there.
How did you get involved with Degrassi?
Yeah, I know. So I sang the theme song for Degrassi, and I remember when they asked me that because that was also something that it's so funny sitting here telling you all this because I'm like, oh, that's how you just got to want it and you get it. But I had always thought that I wanted to be like, sing a theme song. And as a kid, the original Degrassi was when they would wheel the television in and you would watch that for the day. So the producers of Degrassi, I think it was the producers, were involved in the record label. And so they heard our music and heard my voice and they thought it would, it was just time. They would redo the theme every couple of years. And so it was just that time and they just asked if we wanted to do it. So then
I like that message. Just want it and you'll get it.
I don't know that that's true, but when I'm telling you the story, I'm like, I don't sit here often and go from like, hey, here's the beginning of time of me. It's often little segments that people find out. So it is funny as I'm telling you, and I'm like, here's how this started. But yeah, we even they used our music in Degrassi. And so we even got to go to Degrassi High. Like I got to go there and with the cast and we all got to watch because they had done this really heavy episode about a school shooting and it hadn't really been done, I think, on television yet. Like it was, so they were really bringing everybody, the cast and us and a few of the other musicians together to all like watch it and see sort of what we had done. It was really cool.
That is. Were you still with Jakalope at the time?
I was. Yeah. So the producer of Jakalope produced that version of the Degrassi theme.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So then how soon after that did you step away and go solo?
I was in Jakalope from 2004 to I think it was 2007. I did 2 records. And it was this sort of how I summarize it is like, you don't know if you like basketball unless you go play basketball. And so for me, I hadn't experienced that genre and done all of that. And while I had so much fun and I really loved that experience, I knew that it ultimately wasn't really who I am. Like it was a bit of like kind of what they need you to be. Mm-hmm. And I had fun doing it, but that wasn't me.
So when you went solo, what was the reception like with all these fans that you've built up with that band listening to your new style, your style?
I mean, again, I'm so naive. I didn't really realize how popular we were. because again, like we were popular and we were great, but we weren't Bryan Adams, and I work for Bryan Adams. So to me, I'm like, oh, we're just this little band, and even though like I'd gotten to do all these cool things, it's still, again, it just felt so normal. And so I remember thinking, I better put out music right away or people are going to forget about me. Like that was what I thought. And so I did this little EP in my closet at home using GarageBand, and I put that out and I started touring it because I felt like I hadn't really gone through the actual school of rock and roll. Like I went straight to tour vans, right? Or to tour buses, and I'd never done the like get in a van with a bunch of sweaty dudes and go play and sleep and the whatever accommodations and whatever. So when I went and did that, yeah, the fans were still there. And I'm going to guess I probably lost a lot of them because it wasn't the same. But I still to this day have fans. I get at Christmas time, somebody walked up to me I was getting on the SkyTrain and somebody walked up to me and he goes, "Are you a musician?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "I had such a crush on you." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Jakalope." And I was like, "Oh my God, no way." Like, and he recognized me then as I was just like getting on the train. And when we just toured with Tim and the Glory Boys in Nice Horse, somebody was waiting outside a venue with a record for me to sign. And then I said to him, I'm like, "Are you coming to the show?" And he goes, "No." I was like, okay. But I do get people. I just posted a throwback photo of me on the red carpet with Vincent, who did all the artwork for Jakalope. And I was flooded with messages of people being like, "You helped me get through this," or "You kickstarted me to think I could do this," or and a lot of them do say, "And I love that you're still here. I love that I get to hear your voice. I love seeing who you are." So I would say like not all of those people were there for me, but the ones who were there for me all have kind of still continued to follow. And I get it all the time. Like all the time I get random messages and again, there's a bit of that nostalgia resurgence right now with it. So I think maybe that's part of it. But yeah, so I think, I don't know if they all like the music that I'm doing, but I'm not getting hate mail telling me they hate it. They maybe just aren't listening to it. I don't know.
What was it like then kind of having to go back and start the grind process?
It was refreshing. I will say, like, I felt, again, there were some things that I really wanted to do. I remember, I'm not going to say who, but there was this person in the music industry and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to go on a tour." "Why?" And he kind of was giving me the gears from the fact that I was leaving it all behind to go and tour and play small towns. And he was like, "Those big artists, they don't play the small towns. The small towns come to them." And I was like, because I've never done it. I have never toured in a van for a month and slept on the couches and made pennies. And he goes, "Then that's why you're doing this and that's why you should." And so it was hard, but it was kind of exciting because I hadn't done it before. But yeah, it was hard. Like I missed having an agent and having all those things. But again, it was also part of the journey and part of the experience. And because of what had been built previously with the other things I had done, I wasn't playing to empty rooms. People were coming. They were much smaller, but it was also what I wanted. I wanted to just have my acoustic guitar and me. Like that's the music that I love so much is like, and the storytelling. Like I love to go to a show and the artist tells me their stories throughout it. Like that's my favorite. And so I wanted to do that.
Did you go back and play Airdrie?
I did. Yeah. I used to play. Where did we play? Me and my friend Steve would always put on a Boxing Day show, but I can't remember. I don't even know if it's still there.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
Bring it back. So while you became solo, mm-hmm. you had to kind of wear all the hats, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did that change your perspective on music and your approach to music?
I mean, just that it's a lot of work. Like, and that never really changes. And it was different for me in Jakalope because I was brought into the project to be the lead singer and to be, a co-writer and all of that and to be the face of it. But I wasn't the machine behind it. That was the job that I was given. And everything I've done since, including Nice Horse, I have been part of the machine that's helping it go. And so it's hard. The music business is hard, but you learn a lot that way. Like I feel like then, when you do have a manager, you know what their role is and you're so grateful that they're doing it. When you do have an agent, you know that role and you're so grateful that they're doing it. So I think you have a lot of gratitude for your team when you spend a lot of time at first having to do it yourself.
So what parts of all these experiences, the TV show, Jakalope, being a solo artist, what of all those have you carried with you and brought into your Nice Horse experience?
Like, I don't think there's just one thing. I think there's all of it. Like, again, just knowing, like, I'm very aware that lightning doesn't always strike twice, and it's been striking for me. And so I don't take any of it for granted. So I think it's more just like when I was younger and doing it, I just thought, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be. And then I learned, oh, that's actually not. But you're still being brought along this journey. So just keep going. So I think probably perseverance. Like sometimes I think the music industry really is like survival of the fittest. Like sometimes you're at the top because you're the only one who didn't give up climbing Mount Everest, you know? Like, I mean, obviously skill and talent, I'm not taking that away, but so much of it is like, there's a lot of us here. And as you climb, it gets harder and harder and harder. And so for some people, that's not what they want. And if you just keep going, there's a few less of you and a few less, you know? And then there's just plain luck. Like there's definitely, every artist you talk to has a different story, and every one of them has a different stroke of luck that you couldn't replicate even if you tried. So I don't know. I don't know if I even answered your question, actually.
I don't know either, but it was beautiful.
Let's go with that.
What things did it teach you to shed or get? Like what things did you learn that you cut?
You'll hear it from all artists, rejection. Like sometimes it's not you that they rejected, and it feels so personal, like that it is you that they rejected, but it's not the business. It's the music business. It's not the music hobby. And that's the thing that you have to remember, is that if you want to do music as a business, it's a business. And if you want to do music as a hobby, it's a hobby. And so I think that's part of it, is realizing that part. And sometimes you have to, and that's really hard when you're an artist, because so many of us as artists are emotion driven and we go heart first, you know, but it's sometimes you've got to take that hat off a second, put on the business hat and just think business wise. And that's a really hard thing to do when you just want to like create art and sing songs and give people your feelings and share that and have them share theirs with you. And, you know, you want to just be the artist, but I don't know that there's an artist out there who is just the artist. We have to be so much more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like I think the rejection part of it and remembering that side, that's the part that is never easy for anybody, but it's easier if you can remember that.
So how do you then keep the kind of passion and creativity in it when there's all those other things in the way?
Sometimes you don't. Like be full honest, there are times when I will go a month and not touch an instrument. And I used to feel bad about that and be like, oh, maybe I'm not a real artist. But then I realized it's like, no, I'm not a machine. Mm-hmm. I'm not a karaoke machine. I'm not your Spotify playlist. I'm a person. And so I think that there's that part of it is what helps me, is sometimes I need to step away. I remember, this will sound like a name drop, but it was amazing advice. Tom Cochrane, we toured with Tom Cochrane, and he said, you can't write about life if you're not living it. And I was like, yes. And sometimes I have to give myself permission to go live life. And then when I do that, then when I come back, and I've been doing a lot of that lately, I've been doing a lot of living lately, because then I start to feel I'll wake up and I'll be driving and I'll suddenly be like singing into my phone and I'll know that I can feel the creative coming back. But there are times when I've been, well, you got to go write. And then that works for some people. I am not denying that for some people, writing day in and day out, 365 days a year, that's who they are. And I think that's a beautiful thing too. But there were times when I was walking into the writing room and I was like, I have nothing to say. And then you feel shitty about yourself because the song kind of sucks and you think that the writer thinks you're bad, and you know, and then you leave and you're like, we didn't even finish it. I must be terrible. And it's like, no, your tank was empty. You need time. And so for me, that's what it is I have to, I'll go nonstop. Like my friends call me an Energizer bunny. I'll never quit. But my not doing music is how I get to keep doing music. Is sometimes I just got to set her down, go do a little vacation or go spend time with the horses and, you know, go spend time with my friends and then come back. And then my tank is full and I'm ready to go again.
How long did it take you to learn that? Was there a time where you would just work until you burned out? And
Yeah, I would say actually probably in Nice Horse, I realized that because everybody was different. Everybody had different ways that they worked. And so you're trying to kind of accommodate everybody. And I realized that like what works for some isn't going to work for me. And going down to Nashville a lot and seeing that there are some writers who will write once a month and that's it. And some writers who write twice a day, 5 days a week as their full-time job. And I didn't really know which one I was. Like in that, because country music and the business of country music is a whole other thing. You know, like what I'm speaking to is only for me, right? Like in the genre that I'm in and how we took it. So I know it's different for everybody, but going down to Nashville and writing, you know, and at first doing 2-3 writes a day and having fun. And then, you know, after a couple of years, me being like, I can't do it anymore. I'm saying the same thing and just trying to find a different way. And it was through that I really realized like, because I did try to quit music one time. When I was doing my solo career and after a while I just got tired of it and I was like, I think I'm done. Like, I think I've done what I wanted to do. I've done all these things and I wasn't having fun anymore. And I remember there was a time when it was like, oh, I'd rather go out and play a show and make a bit of money than sit on the couch. And then I remember a moment of being like, I'd rather sit on the couch, go out and make a bit of money playing music. And that's when I knew I needed a break. And so I remember I wrote this thing and I posted this like goodbye music, like, thanks everybody. I've done a lot of great things, but I'm just going to go and like, you know, people change careers all the time. I'm going to change a career. And I decided to get into working in the airline business because I love travel. And I'd only been doing that for 6 months when my friend invited, like when Brandy said, do you want to go do a writing session in Hawaii? And I was like, okay. And then Nice Horse was born. So I took a 6-month break. But so that 6-month break, I was working for the airline. I was traveling. I was, had my own other things that I got to do and experience. But then, music pulled me right back in. And I was really excited at first. And I was still excited. I mean, I love it. But it was sort of through all of that I realized the type of artist that I am. Mm-hmm. And just sometimes.
Let's talk about Nice Horse right after the break. I'm going to take a quick break.
Let's take a break.
We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Katie Rocks, and I am the new host of Deets with Duddy. Welcome to the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, listen, tell your friends, share it, everything we need you to do. What's the point in owning when I can just borrow? Oh, is that today? I swear I thought it was tomorrow. Didn't lock the door again, just let yourself in. And if you could feed the cat, that would be oh so. Daddy says I raise some hell, Mama says apply yourself. Preacher thinks I need a little help. I'm just a hot mess, that's just the way it is. I call it a success if I get out the house half-dressed. Oh, I could get my shit together, but this is too much fun. No, you can't get this kind of crazy with just anyone. A hot mess, I'm just a hot mess. Ooh.
And we're back.
We're back, baby.
That was a fun little break.
It really was.
Okay, tell me about your band now. We've gone over everything, and now we're into your new life.
Well, it's just one of many, but the Nice Horse era, that again, it started as just a girls' trip wanting to have fun and play music together. Like that was kind of it. And again, we were all into country music, so it was like, let's just play some rodeos and have a good time. And I think again, like when you don't necessarily know how to do things as just like, I guess it was like, we only knew how to take things seriously and like go 150%. And so there was a management company that had always been kind of coaching me along. I'd known them again from my warehouse days. Like so much goes back to like the warehouse. I can pretty much single-handedly thank that place for everything they did and the people that I know. And so we showed them this, again, thinking we just play rodeos, and we showed this management company our new band, and they were like, you've brought us a lot of different things over the years. This is the one. Like, because the rest of the time they were very supportive. They suggested writing in Nashville and doing all these things, but I brought them this band and they were like, you should stop everything else you've ever done and you should do this and we'll support it and we'll manage it. So it took off really quickly. Like, and within I think it was, we spent the first year playing at the Grey Eagle Casino, just trying to get it together. We were all musicians, but we had I'd never played the banjo before. Our drummer had never played the drums before. So we were all already professional musicians, but we were taking on new roles. And so we would play at the Grey Eagle Casino for like 3 hours, 3 1-hour sets on the weekends, and just to try to get ourselves ready because the opportunities were kind of flying at us. And so, within a very short time, we did our first tour was opening up for Tom Cochrane. And it just, it just took off, it was just one of those things. And I think it helped that like that music is like where my heart lies. Like I will do country music for the rest of my time, like I already think about the music that I want to create, like when I do something, and I already know like it's going to be country music. Like that's the thing. I mean, I love all genres, and I would definitely still like collaborate with people on other things. But when you're doing the thing that you really love the most, it's amazing. I think people can just feel it.
And now you still play the banjo, right?
I do.
It's in your profile. You're a banjo player.
Yeah. I hold a banjo.
Weren't you nominated for an award as a banjo player?
Yeah, I was nominated for Specialty Instrument Player of the Year at the CCMAs. How about that? And I'd only been playing it for 7 years. So that was, I don't know how that happened, but.
You're you're the most famous banjo player I know.
I'm the only banjo player you know.
True.
And Kermit the Frog.
Okay. I don't know Kermit.
He's my favorite.
So when did the band start, and how has it evolved?
That was in 2016, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's evolved a lot, like different members coming and going, and different, the music has changed. Because when we first started it, it was just truly meant to be for fun. The very first song we ever wrote was Married to My Truck. And the band name that we had was like so offensive that they were like, you need to change your band name. You can't say that on the radio. And, and some of those older songs like Beer Baby Banjo and Pony Up, those are all kind of indicative that we truly were just a bunch of friends having a good time. But it also, it evolved when Tara joined. She, metal is her heart. Like, so she knew me from the Jakalope days. I remember that she said like, when she was asked if she was interested in joining this country band, she was like, I don't know about country. And then she's like, but I know Jakalope. So yes, I will go and meet them. And so her and I had that bond because I had met the Kitty girls a long time ago. And so, so we really loved exploring the heavier side with Tara in it. And it was just, it was just, I don't know how to explain it. Just, it grew and changed. And, like I said, some people came and went and different things happened, but it was, and probably one of the hardest projects I've ever been a part of because of so many reasons.
Mm-hmm. When did you realize it was legit? Like it was going to be a long-term thing?
Well, I think I knew when that management company signed us right away because I had never had that happen before. Like even in Jakalope, we didn't have management. Like we had management companies interested, but it never got one in the end. And so when they took us on, it was Coalition Records, and those guys are amazing. Coalition Music, like they manage Simple Plan and Our Lady of Peace. And so when they saw something, I was like, okay. And then when we got the Tom Cochrane tour, like 6 months later, it was like, oh, we have to get ready to play arenas. Like that's real.
Yeah.
Like, and it just started to snowball out of control. And it was, my friends would joke because they're like, oh, how's retirement going? Because I had said I was retired from music. And I was like, so I called it for years. I called it my retirement project.
What about, when did you all get nominated for CCMA? It was like a record, right?
Yeah, that was, I don't remember the year. It wasn't that long ago. Maybe 2022. I just remember that it was the one year that we won. Because I remember when we got nominated for our first CCMA, and I remember not even thinking that was even like an option for us because we weren't getting the radio play or anything like that. But we were succeeding. We were doing well, but I didn't think we were a CCMA band. And our publicist said, oh, make sure you guys watch the broadcast when they announce like the nominees. Like it's just a good thing to like join it, whatever. And I still did not clue in that she wanted us to watch it because we were getting nominated. And so we got that nomination for Interactive Artist of the Year. So that was your social media. And that was how we built our brand. Like, again, we didn't have anything. We were a new band. We didn't have songs on the radio. We didn't even have music recorded yet, but we had management and we had songs and we had personality. So we just started, like, I was like idiots on the internet. That's kind of what we did. And it got us a lot of attention. And it was kind of like we came out of the gates almost kind of like not knowing any better. We were just like, let's just go have fun. And so then fast forward to so we started getting nominated for the Interactive Artist of the Year. We got it like 3 years in a row. And then that year that we got nominated, we all got the individual music like drummer, whatever, all that. We also got nominated for Music Video of the Year, but we had a gig that night, the night of the gala. So it was like the first year that we had the most nominations we'd ever had. And then we weren't able to go to the gala. We were playing an event. And then we had to drive back because we were playing the next morning. Well, we had sound check the next morning because we were joining Lindsay L for her performance as her band. She had called me. Lindsay and I go way back to some of these days we've talked about. It was Lindsay and I when she was in Calgary and her and I playing gigs together and doing things like that. And so she had called me and said, I want you guys to be my band for this performance. So we were like, okay, so we've all been nominated, but we've got this gig and it was in Moose Jaw and we love Moose Jaw. So we got to go play this gig. And so we drove through the night to get back to be on the broadcast with Lindsay. And we had gotten about an hour outside of Moose Jaw when our phones started buzzing that we had won the Music Video of the Year. And I was like, the 1 year we weren't there. Like we were too busy gigging to actually be at the awards. So I think that was 2022, I think.
So what's it like? How do you perform differently for the bigger crowds that you've gotten and smaller, more intimate crowds?
You know, I feel like we designed Nice Horse to be an arena band. So that is always kind of the way that formation that we did, I think, kind of serves the best. When you're performing for the smaller, more intimate, you do kind of need to change your set and change what you're doing because you don't want to walk in and blast people's faces off, which is the thing that so often we like to do. So it takes a bit of reining it in, no pun intended. But I love those. Again, those are my favorite shows to go to. Like one of my all-time favorite shows that I saw was Fran Healy from the band Travis playing in Vancouver, and he was playing by himself. And it was at the Vogue Theater, I think. And I don't remember how many people were there. I want to say like 300 people, and everybody just chose to sit towards the front, maybe more. I can't remember. But anyways, he just ended up unplugging his guitar and moving the mic away and then just sang to us and told us stories. And it was amazing. And I love what Travis does as a band. Like I just went and saw them play at the Commodore recently. They're one of my favorite bands. I say all this stuff about country music. Travis are one of my all-time favorite bands. And that's when they do the blow your face off thing. And then when I saw Fran by himself telling us stories, and that's the intimate thing. And I find in a band that can be hard to do. I think that an artist one-on-one is when you really create that connection. So I think the smaller things, that's what you have to do, but I think it's harder to do when you're in a band.
How has it been on you getting so kind of famous?
Are you my therapist now?
Well,
Katie, how are you doing? You're going to be really sorry you asked.
I'm excited to hear your answer.
Okay, well, what was the question again? How are you?
How has it been on you kind of getting famous, I guess?
Well, I'm not famous. I'm successful.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. But I'm not.
I think you're famous. Look at the blazer.
I mean, yeah. What it means is I can buy a lot of sequins. That's what famous means. It's been great. I mean, it's been hard. But yeah, like I'm not like I can go anywhere. Like I said, every now and then I get recognized places and that's fun. But it's hard, but it's also like it's hard because you're kind of keeping up an image a lot of the time that sometimes isn't the reality, but that's kind of what people want and what they tell you that they want. And the business will be like, you got to kind of be this way and you kind of got to be that way. I'm not even saying that in a negative. Like, I don't feel like anybody, maybe in the Jakalope days, I was sort of kind of told to be a thing that I really wasn't. I don't feel that now also because I'm like, believe it or not, I'm an adult, a full-grown woman. I don't believe it to be true, but apparently I am. And so I get to stand on my ground a little bit more about what I will do and won't do. So that's not me slagging anybody. I'm just saying like there's sort of the keeping up a certain level of what it means for people to think, oh, then you're successful. But again, overall, like I love it. It's the thing I've wanted to do. Like little Katie wanted to do this forever and I'm doing it. And if anything, it almost never feels like enough. Like I'm like, oh, I still haven't reached this tier. I still haven't reached that tier. You know, like I'm still crawling my way through it.
Does it change your writing or performing? Are you thinking about the fans now instead of just how you feel?
I mean, yeah, of course, you're always thinking about the fan. I mean, they're the whole reason that you get to play music, right? Or the people who actually like want to hear it, which is why I think so much it's about connection. Like it's about what I want to say, but I also want to know what they feel. Like it's definitely like a transactional experience with the people who want to hear your music. And that's one of the things that I love. And so I love when people say, oh, I love this song or this really helped me or that really resonated. Because yeah, initially I think you do write music from a selfish place. You're like, hi, this is what I experienced. But it's kind of like, but did you experience that too? Like maybe you understand how this feels. And I think that's because that's how I listen to music is like, I want to know what that artist is thinking and feeling. And then somewhere along the way, I'm like, oh, wow, you read my mind.
What do? You said you take a lot of downtime now. Mm-hmm. What do you do in the downtime? How do you stay grounded?
Like, what do I do? Sometimes I wonder what it is I'm doing. But I mean, I spend a lot of time, like I told you, I grew up on a farm. And so I'm with horses almost all the time. Like that's like my other passion. Like if I knew how to turn that into money, I would probably do that. So I'm out with the horses a lot. I'm out hiking a lot. I am a constant social butterfly. So I'm out with my friends a lot and traveling a lot. Like I love to travel. So I love to bake. I make pies. That's my favorite thing to make. But I also like to just cook. But lately I've been like making pies and giving them away. And it's been really fun to have people be so happy about the pies that I made. So I'm like, I call her domesticatey. Thank you. There's a lot of those. But yeah, so it's that. It's just like just regular life stuff, you know, and now that I've spent like kind of about the last year that I knew I needed to start doing that. Now I'm like, okay, I'm like feeling so energized to write and, you know, do new things in that area. But yeah, it's kind of that stuff. I talk to my mom like 20 times a day.
Me too.
You know, love it.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, Mom.
What other instruments do you play?
I play the piano, but I would say I plunk the piano. Like I'm not a piano player. And I play the guitar. Like the acoustic guitar is the thing I'm the most naturally comfortable with. Like I learned how to play the banjo for Nice Horse, but I'm not a natural banjo player. Like I've been playing it for 9 years.
You're a banjo player. Do you play ukulele?
I don't.
Do you know how?
I could play it.
You have one? What kind?
I bought it in Hawaii.
Like a little Hawaiian one? Okay, yeah. I have something for you.
Don't make me play it.
I'm not going to make you play it.
Because I was like, I don't know the chord shape.
But I want you to have it.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
And I want you to learn it.
I'm scared.
No, it made me think of you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Oh my God, I've seen these.
This is for you.
Oh my God.
It's a banjo-lele.
Yeah. We need to tune it. Oh my God, where did you find this?
I had it.
I've
had it. Yeah.
You're not really going to give it to me.
I want you to have it.
Like when you turn the cameras off, are you going to take it back?
I want you to have it. We're friends now.
If you give me this forever, we really are friends. This is the other instrument. Ask me next year, and I'll be like, I also play the banjo.
You're a professional banjo player.
Yeah.
You had to have it.
Ukulele banjo. How does it tune?
It's a banjo-lele. It's tuned. Someone told me. I'm not a musician.
Oh, isn't that how a ukulele is tuned? My dog has fleas.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a little out of tune. I can't really tell. That's very nice.
Yeah. So
I'm keeping it.
You're keeping it. Learn it and get back to me. Maybe make a video or something.
Okay, maybe.
1 year from now. You have a year.
I do. And then maybe I could be nominated for specialty instrument for this.
Yeah, bring it on stage one time. Yeah.
Now I really want to. That's very nice.
Okay, bring it on stage tonight.
Okay.
Just
Listen.
pretend you forgot your banjo.
Yeah, I'd be like, shit, guys, sorry. You know what? Actually, though, this would be way better for travel.
Right.
Right? The banjo's heavy.
Yeah. I was just really thinking when I got you this gift.
I love it so much.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, here's the story. I loved it so much too. You know what my favorite part is?
I was like, there's so many banjo jokes just ready to fly.
The little skull and
I
crossbones.
just saw that. It's amazing because
It's kind of a punk rock.
It's like
banjo
a Jakalope banjo. Like we finally combined it.
There you go.
I'll do a Jakalope cover. Well, it's not even a cover. I helped write them. I'll do a Jakalope version playing this.
Okay.
That's actually a really fun idea. I actually think I'm really going to do that now.
Okay, good.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. I like you for some reason.
Baby.
I don't know.
I think you, well,
we're friends.
You like me for now.
Yeah.
It can change. It can change very fast.
Okay. I do have more. I just wanted to give that to you. We were talking about instruments.
It's the best.
But pretty much everything else I have, it's kind of like closing thoughts. So I thought now's a good time.
Yeah.
So closing thoughts.
I'm thinking about what Jakalope song. I just listened to one of the records the other day. Actually, I was driving and I was like, I'm going to listen to this. And I was like, damn, there's some good stuff here. So maybe I'll pick one of the deep cuts.
Okay. I didn't even tell you my story with it. I was going to, and then I have ADD.
Okay, yeah. Me too.
I wanted to learn. I never did.
So you don't
There's more to the story, but I don't know.
Did you go into a store and be like, I want to buy this?
I loved it with I just loved it. And I like to peacock a little bit. I didn't want a regular ukulele.
Yeah. You want to peacock a little. I understand you. That's why I'm wearing this jacket.
I like unique, weird things.
Yeah. You can't give it away then.
It's yours. It's not even mine anymore. I already gave it to you.
It's true, actually. And everybody knows.
I want you to have it. You're probably the only professional banjo player I'm ever going to meet.
Okay. Let's go with that. There's not a lot in Canada.
Yeah.
You go to Nashville, you'll meet 80.
Well, you're my favorite for the rest of my life.
Thank you. I like that. Thank you.
This is off the rails. I don't know how to continue.
Off the rails is kind of my specialty.
So what do you want people to take away from this? But you know what? I don't even care about that. Tell everyone where to find you and your music.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you can look up Jakalope and you'll find me. You can look up Katie Rocks and you'll find me. You look up Nice Horse and you'll find me. But I think the Nice Horse stuff's my favorite.
Okay.
Well, and then as I said that, I was like, that felt like picking a favorite child.
Don't do it.
So don't do it.
But I mean, that's the one making you money.
That's the business.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, great. I think we did it. I don't know what else to say. That's the episode. We did it.
Thanks for coming. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
If you ever want to come back.
I will. A year from now.
You know where to find me.
Yeah.
Okay. I take these off. It ends.
Okay.
Okay. It's over.
Great. Can I interview you now?